Hello everyone, I am Renown Zero, and today is the Mighty Golden Patriot pre-order launch, and the absolute coping has begun. The salty tears are going to flow. It is going to be absolutely hilarious watching these guys cope and seethe over this book for the next how many days, how many ever days this campaign is going to be open. It looks like it's going to be open for 2 months because it ends on July 26th. But getting off to a great start, by the way, at 22,046 sales. I just put my own order in because I couldn't decide if I wanted to get the book pack or just get the covers and the extra short story by Quaff, by the way, that people seem to have missed. So I want to put that in right at the beginning of the video. So when people start watching it, they realize, yes, there is a short story, a 25-page story for $6 by Quaff, I believe illustrated by Quaff, that you can also get with this. That is a prequel to the actual Mighty Golden Patriot book. It's currently sitting at 708 books sold with a $100,000 pre-order goal. And of course, the same people that always seem to melt down over every little thing that Eric July or anybody associated with Eric July or friends with Eric July or even work with Eric July constantly melting down. You know, your old Juju the Cows, your Vito the Pedo, and your throat goat Ethan Van Sciver, the has-been himself, who's now saying how he wants to grow the comic book audience and he wants to then call people pieces of crap, and then he wants to constantly mock Yellow Flash, I guess, and people want to sit there and mock the Power Ranger IP. Meanwhile, the Power Ranger IP is more popular, more relevant than anything in CG would ever create, even Cyber. So let's get into it. Of course, we're going to go through the covers. We're going to go through some of the items that are in the campaign, of course. You have cover A, which is illustrated by Kelsey Shannon. It is a limited cover. You have cover B, which is illustrated by Mike S. Miller. I think this cover is fantastic as well. However, my favorite was the Irene Shikalski cover C that is going to be foiled, which is one of the ones I picked up. It's going to be my extra variant cover that I will pick up. And then I grabbed the cover D of Mighty Golden Patriot, which is the mass print. The prints that will always be available. It's not limited whatsoever. It'll always be printed and always be available for people to purchase over on ripascend.com. Drawn by Rob Willis and colored by Marcos Martins. Now, what I was saying earlier, there is Tales from the Battlefield that is $6, which is a 25-page prequel story for the Mighty Golden Patriot that you can pick up, illustrated by Quaff. And it seems like the editor for these books is Literature Devil. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video. I did put in my order, as I said. Placed my order, got cover C, Tales from the Battlefield, and I got cover D. And I obviously tagged who I needed to tag. The artist of the covers, the prequel story, illustrated by Quaff. I even reminded people that they missed out on that as well. So we're going to move on to the next one. Of course, there's also another thing I want to remind people who follow the channel. Phenomenova Issue 2 has begun fulfillment for physical and digital rewards. So be on the lookout for that as well. But it's hilarious when you had people like, oh, Bosch Foston, right? Different word I'd rather use for his first name, but we're not going to do that. $17,407 raised in 2 months. You know, something that Flash pretty much did within a matter of a couple of hours. Interesting how when you circle jerk around the Kangs, instead of, you know, actually trying to do it on your own and not kiss the ring, you get more support. You get that real support. And to me, this is an absolute grift. It is. To me, this is an absolute grift. You may not think it is. I truly believe it is. But as I predicted in last night's stream, I predicted that good old Fartsy was going to screenshot the campaign talking about the book sold and the total sales right away as soon as the campaign went live. He's saying, it's so much worse now. Not only didn't pay him, by the way, grammar and proper sentence structure would be awesome for someone who's apparently or supposedly working on 3 comics, right? You're sitting here crying about other people's projects rather than working on the 3 comics you're allegedly working on, but ruined the comic's success for him. And I will show you exactly from last night's stream at the point where I predicted this would happen. I guarantee one of the first things you're going to see, I can almost guarantee at this point, the first thing you're going to see is you're going to see Lumfartsy screenshot the campaign the moment it goes live. Because he's been doing that for the last like 3 campaigns and being like, look at this failure as it goes live for 1 hour. As I predicted, the clown did exactly what I said he was going to do. Honk honk, weirdo. But yeah, quote unquote, finally, what a piece of crap, and Flash is paying you for your service. Do you see this, throat goat? Yeah, let's tag the throat goat because you're a loser. Followed by, wouldn't it be called dead wearing this? Then you got Crusader Joe, a clown who thought fully clothed women is corn because he's... And then you have other clowns that are also doing this screenshotting crap, this concern trolling nonsense. Not looking great so far. Where's the audience? And I'm like, numbers are still rising. It hasn't stagnated. People have jobs, unlike you, clearly. It's been active for all of 2 hours. The coping begins, and I'll be here watching for all of the salty tears. And then you had clowns like Vito the Pedo, as I stated in the beginning of the video, the same clown who hasn't put out a freaking comic. He's late by probably about 2 years now for his trash book Super Killer that I absolutely roasted on stream because the script was absolute dog water, saying, who is this aimed at? And I'm just like, who is your book aimed at? Nobody, because it doesn't exist. Hashtag when is Super Killer? I would love to absolutely trash that book again on stream when you have a fully, hopefully better script. I would love to trash that because the first script was absolute dog water. The artwork is absolute trash compared to literally anything else I've seen. And then you have, oh, Juju the cow, this is Yellow Flash's comic. Yellow Flash guy? It's just Yellow Flash, bro. Come on. The one that took 3 years to make? I don't believe so. I don't think it took 3 years. Dude, this looks like dog crap. No wonder Flash didn't pay his artist. This sucks. I'm sure the story's great, though. It was written by a YouTube celebrity, after all. Yeah, I'm sure your book, that men are better than women, is so great. Written by an absolute low-cal, retarded cow who gets pegged up the ass. I'm sure that book is written perfectly fine. And I'm like, responding, you don't care about comic books, so your opinion means nothing. It looks better than anything you can get in the mainstream and even better than Vito's trash art. Hell, most indie books don't look as good either. Also, nice zoom in on the image to make it look bad. By the way, web versus print look extremely different. They have different types of formats. Here's the full panel. Hope this helps. Because you literally zoomed in, it's blurry as all hell, and it's like when you zoom out, you can actually see the full context of the image rather than you just zooming in like an absolute and thinking that's an own. Are you freaking serious, Lord Blitzkrieg? Bro, how about Captain Meanie or Major Yahtzee? It's no wonder your book sucks, bro. It's wonder nobody talks about your trash book or your trash commercial you did for Pizza Hut. Like, bro, who cares? You're not gonna buy it anyway. You're just a freaking reactionary dip. And I'm just like, shut the F up and create something rather than complain about everything you hate because you clearly like nothing. I even said it in the stream last night. These guys literally don't talk about anything they like. All they do is complain about literally everything. They have nothing that they like. But might be a reason why you're crying about this book because it looks like this book is making more money than your Patreon makes every month. Woo, that looks horrible, man. The last time I crap talk this little chump change of a number over here, it was actually higher. Now it's lower. But here comes the really big cope coming from the throat goat himself. I love to grow the comic book reading audience. No, you don't. Your whole entire audience is a bunch of drama farmers seeking who literally show up to watch you talk crap about other people because your live viewers are absolutely trash when it comes to you hosting the Kang's show. It's absolute dog water. It goes straight in the tank. I like them to read my comics because they're excellent and appealing. No, they're not. They're absolute trash. Your character gets cucked in the second book. Not because I've tricked them into thinking that they're fighting Disney by purchasing them. Literally nobody has done that, ever. Literally nobody does that. People talk about how they can get an alternative thing that they can enjoy, but nobody talks about they're fighting Disney by purchasing it. Nobody does that. That's a cope. That's the difference between you and me. Oh, and I'm talented and good at comics. Your stories are trash. You've put out 2 books in 8 years. You're not very talented when you're not producing anything. You live under the shadow of Jeff Johns, you freaking clown. Your entire prodigy is you talking about, I worked with Jeff Johns, the guy who's still doing more comic books than you. The guy who's still putting out new stories, something you're not doing. And then literally the post later, Yellow Flash is a despicable piece of crap. Yeah, you're definitely trying to build that comic book audience. Literally nobody has crossover between you and Yellow Flash. You guys have separate audiences. It's been very apparent for a while. But then you go around and you're like, checking in on Yellow Flash's Golden Patriot Big Premiere Day, which is, by the way, what we call pocket watching. You constantly worried about someone's financials. You're like, did it hit its first $1 million? That's literally what pocket watching is. Constantly doing that. You do that with everybody that you dislike. You do this all the time. You're so concerned with what other people are working on rather than working on the products that are 4+ years late that people are waiting for, like Rainbow the Brute, and almost 2 years now going into Cyberfrog 3. And then you have the audacity to go out of your way, right? And of course, make this absolutely and racist thumbnail for your next trash cast or your next late cast or cope cast, which is what it really should be called. It should be called late cast or cope cast, because that's exactly what this is. It's always a live stream of you coping about other creators doing better than you. And by the way, Power Rangers has always been a more relevant IP than Cyberfrog. It's always going to stay more relevant than Cyberfrog. Nobody's going to give their kid a Cyberfrog comic as a kid. A good parent is going to put their kid in front of Power Rangers. They'd rather let their child actually watch something entertaining or read something actually entertaining than whatever garbage comes out of all crap comics. By the way, you took the most popular Power Ranger and then you just sugarcoated it with gold for some reason. Literally the most popular Power Ranger in all of the 30 years, 35 years almost of the IP. That's like literally a self-owned. This is how I know you don't know anything about this IP. Because you literally took the most popular Power Ranger and you photoshopped over it. You're an idiot. This is a self-owned, bro. This is literally you showing the world that you don't know anything about this IP. Literally nothing about this IP. Because you're basically saying that Eric July is holding in his hands the most popular Power Ranger, you dummy. And I said, when was his last $1 million campaign, though? Oh no, it was back in 2019. Hashtag the quartering was right. No one was expecting Flash's book to hit 1 million, though. The cope for the throat goat has begun, which your campaign has to hit $1 million after the first initial launch window. So, can we really call it a $1 million campaign? Not really. Then this is your current one. Your Cyberfrog 3 from August 4th of 2023. We're almost in May. That means in 3 months, in about 3 months, this will be a 2-year-old campaign. And it was estimated for shipping in December of 2024. So, you only made 400, you didn't even make $500,000 during its opening launch window. You know what did make more than that? Power Rangers. A complete collection of Power Rangers. And this is a complete collection that made more money than your garbage warts and all. Both of them. Combined. Both the original Cyberfrog warts and all and your Ultra Cyberfrog warts and all. This collection made more money, made more than double the amount of money than both of those collections. And this is a good comparison because this is all the old material and it made double. So what are we talking about, my guy? You want to talk about how about the IP of Power Rangers? Let's talk about it. Still makes more money than your shit. You know what also makes more money than your crap? Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim made more money than Blood Honey in its initial run. Made more money than Cyberfrog 3 in its initial run. Has more money still than Cyberfrog 3 even as the campaign remains open. And it has more backers than Cyberfrog 3. And destroyed Rainbow the Brute. This also destroyed Rainbow the Brute. You know what else completely destroyed everything you ever created? Transformers. An IP from 40 years ago. Still doing more money than your garbage Cyberfrog. So what are we talking about, bro? Stop pocket watching people's money when you can't even make Transformers numbers. Even Eric July made Transformers numbers with ISOM 1. He's still making Transformers numbers because he's making more than $3 million a year. Making an actual business that runs very well. 3 years in, still making more money than you. Still doing more projects than you. Still writing more books than you. Still getting more books out to people. Actually publishing other people more than you are. So what are we talking about here? I enjoy being petty with your I enjoy being petty with you. And you even have clowns who's sweet for this, saying, we're still waiting on those amazing characters you claim you were going to make. By the way, Power Rangers is a better comic than Cyberfrog and still more relevant of an IP than Cyberfrog, you absolute tourist. Because you are. You're an absolute tourist to comics, bro. As I said, old material of Power Rangers outsells old material from Cyberfrog. And this is a 35-year-old IP. Cyberfrog came out in the 90s. This came out in the 90s. Still more popular than Cyberfrog to this day. The show has like 30 seasons. Close, or somewhere close probably, to 30 seasons of TV. What does Cyber have? 2 modern books and some old material. The toys are even better made for Power Rangers than Cyber. Come on. There's so many things I could bash Cyber for that Power Rangers does better. Let's not go there, because I'd be here all day. I would be here all day destroying Cyber with Power Rangers, bro. For the IP you guys like to clown on, the IP that's more popular than anything you guys have made in CG or new CG. So stop the cap, bro. Learn about what this IP is and learn the power of this IP before you start trying to trash talk this IP. Stop it. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, smash the like button, comment below if you feel all this, subscribe for more content, hit the bell for notifications, set the bell to all, that way you'll get a notification anytime I'm posting a video, go live on the channel. Let me know which cover of the Mighty Golden Patriot you're going to be picking up, if you're going to be picking it up. Consider becoming a member for just $1 a month. There's a join button down below this video. You can get access to live stream emoji as well as members only content. If you don't want to spend the buck, that's okay too. I appreciate you for watching the videos and jumping in on the live streams, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.